Out where they say, let us be gay, I'm going Hollywood. I'll ballyhoo, greetings to you, I'm going Hollywood. Hey, while you sleepy heads are in that haze, I'll be dancing, I'm going to be dancing with the sun-kissed baby, and I'm on my way. Here's my beret, I'm going Hollywood.
Hi there, I'm David Duncan and welcome to Bing Crosby, The Hollywood Years. Well, 1939 is generally regarded as Hollywood's greatest year, with films like Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, Stagecoach, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and Wuthering Heights. Never before had such a list of A-grade films been assembled in 1 year. Unfortunately for Bing, his 3 films released that year were not amongst them. I mean, they're all entertaining and had some really nice songs, but there were just no big hits. The first film of the year, which was released in January, had actually been made in mid-1938. It's called Paris Honeymoon, and it again teamed Bing with Shirley Ross, as well as featuring the well-known comic actor Edward Everett Horton, and a little-known Hungarian actress called Franziska Gall. Paris Honeymoon is largely forgotten today, but has some nice moments. Bing is engaged to be married to Shirley Ross, but just before the wedding, they find out that her divorce to her French husband has not gone through.
But, sweetheart, we only lived together a month.
They quickly travel to Paris to finalize the divorce, and while this is happening, Bing rents a castle in the countryside that is to be for their honeymoon. There he meets a peasant girl played by Franziska Gall, who has been crowned the local Rose Queen, and unbeknownst to Bing, as part of her prize, she gets to live in the castle for a week, where she ends up making life hell for everyone.
Hey!
Here we go!
Now Bing does everything he can to get rid of her, even trying to convince her that the castle is haunted, which leads to a memorable moment with Bing pretending to be a decapitated ghost while singing I Ain't Got Nobody.
I ain't got nobody.
Well, Bing finally heads off to meet Shirley Ross, who is on her way from Paris, but Franziska Gall hides in the car and successfully hijacks him, and in the end, his heart.
Are you sure Queenie's out?
I think I can guarantee we've seen the last of her.
Good.
Your heart's been taking lessons.
There are some nice songs in Paris Honeymoon, probably the nicest being the ballad I Have Eyes.
I have eyes to see with, but they see only you. Or you have eyes that put the very stars to shame. I have lips to sigh with, what else am I to do? When you have lips that fill my very soul with flame.
Frank Tuttle is the director, who, as always, puts to use many sight gags and slapstick sequences, which keeps the laughs coming. In fact, one bizarre sequence has Bing and Shirley Ross drink some cognac, which has been doped, and the following interactions between them is something not seen in any other Crosby film.
I hated it. Bobs, please believe me. I only love you.
don't mean a word you're saying.
Oh, I certainly do. Oh.
I hear that rhythm in my heart.
Apart from all the fun on screen, it wasn't always smooth going on the set. Apparently, Francisca Gall was not easy to get along with, and at times abused the cast and crew, and after one violent tantrum, she stormed off the set. Now this led Bing to say, "I'd like to divide that gal into 3 parts."
You're a sweet little headache, but you are lots of fun. Maybe I ought to spank you, then thank you for all you've done. You're a sweet little headache, full of quaint little schemes. But when I should forget you, I let you disturb my dreams.
When this film was finished though, so was her Hollywood career, and she was sent packing back to Europe. Well, she survived the war and Nazi persecution by hiding in a bombed-out estate, and after a failed comeback in Budapest, returned to the United States in 1947 and lived in New York City, where on August 13th, 1972, she died impoverished and unnoticed by the public.
Now if you keep on that way, what a sweet little heartache you'll turn out to be someday.
Well, besides some nice songs, Paris Honeymoon ended up being Bing's least successful film to date. But next up, it was over to Universal Pictures to make his first film there since The King of Jazz back in 1930. Now, Universal offered Bing an attractive financial deal, allowing him to reap 50% of the profits for a 50% personal investment. East Side of Heaven was the name, and it teamed Bing up with a wonderful cast that included Joan Blondell, some really good songs, and a half-decent story. Bing plays Denny Martin, a singing telegraph operator, when on assignment meets an old friend played by Irene Harvey, who's going through a marriage separation.
Who are you?
I'm Denny Martin, Postal Union.
What do you want?
Well, I have a personal greeting for you, sir.
Happy birthday to you. Signed, your loving son.
Get out of here!
Getting involved also gets him fired, but he bounces back by next getting a job as a singing cab driver.
Why don't you sing a song of sunbeams? Let the notes fall where they may. Sing a song of sunbeams in a light, fantastic way. Life is never perfect, but it isn't always wrong. So the only thing to do is sing a sunbeam song.
Irene Harvey jumps into Bing's cab one night and tells him she has to travel to find her husband, but has nowhere to leave her baby. Acting quickly, she leaves the baby with Bing, who has to look after the little one over the next few days.
Nicky, I got a little surprise for you.
Since I've taken up astrology, nothing surprises me anymore. I know everything that's going to happen. The future is always written plainly in the stars. Why, only this morning... Ah! Ah! Denny! Denny! Denny, look!
He has the help of his flatmate, played by the crazy Russian actor Misha Auer, who adds a lot of fun to the film, and his fiancée, played by Joan Blondell.
Oh, isn't he sweet? Look at these dear little hands.
Oh, the size of the fingernails, that's what gets me. Did you ever see anything as small as that?
After a string of antics, trying to keep the baby a secret from an annoying radio reporter, played by Jerome Cowan, the little baby is finally reunited with his parents, and Bing gets a job as a singer on the local radio station.
He sings much better with a baby in his arms.
hurry up, honey, because when you hear the gong, it'll be 2 minutes before our wedding.
I know an angel on the east side of heaven. No wonder I'm happy and free. When I turn off Broadway to the east side of heaven, where an angel waits for me.
Now, the production went very smoothly under the direction of David Butler, and Bing wrote to songwriter Johnny Mercer saying, "Never engaged in a more pleasant and I hope profitable enterprise." Well, the film did make a nice profit when released in April that year, and as usual, Bing's recordings from the film sold well.
Hang your heart on a hickory limb when love is passing by. Then you won't know the sadness in a sigh. Hang your heart on a hickory limb when spring is in the air. Then you won't be a victim of despair.
Johnny Burke and Jimmy Monaco wrote the score that provided Bing with a handful of nice tunes, including East Side of Heaven, Sing a Song of Sunbeams, Hang Your Heart Upon a Hickory Limb, and The Sly Old Gentleman, that had Bing crooning to Baby Sandy while rocking him to sleep.
That sly old gentleman from Featherbed Lane is watching you. He's peeking through your window pane.
Now, the role of the baby took a while to cast before a local milkman dropped off a couple of photos of his newborn, along with the milk delivery to the casting director. The baby was immediately cast in the role of Irene Harvey's newborn son, but it wasn't until much later during filming that they realised that baby Sandy was actually a girl. Well, not that it mattered. Well, baby Sandy went on to make a few more films before retiring at the ripe old age of 4.
Train with the sly old gentleman from Featherbed Lane.
Well, it was back to Paramount for Bing's final film of 1939 as he progressed from babies to teenagers with The Star Maker. The Star Maker was a good formula picture for Bing, who played the role of Larry Earl that was loosely based on the career of Gus Edwards, who was a hugely successful showman at the turn of the century. It's a nice story with good songs and set pieces and a decent cast of characters to propel things along. It also has the distinction of being the only film of Bing's career where he played a happily married man.
What do you mean? My wife working? Why, you want people to think I can't support you?
Night, a soft guitar, a hidden lane, a moon, and here and there a star. For a man in his dream.
His wife, played nicely by Louise Campbell, who had a very limited career in films, supports Bing as he tries to earn money in a show business career.
And now and then a sigh for a man in his dream.
He stumbles upon a group of newspaper boys who can sing and dance a little and decides to turn them into a vaudeville act.
I'd buy up every schoolhouse in the nation. I'd write upon the blackboard big and clear. Instead of one, there will be 2 vacations. Each vacation 6 months, twice a year.
Well, the act is successful and leads Larry to open talent schools around the country, with the successful kids going on to perform in his shows.
You'd have free soda fountains,
say I'd build you ice cream mountains if I was a millionaire. Go fly a kite and tie your troubles to the tail. They'll be blown away by a merry gale. Go fly a kite and toss your worries to the wind. And won't come back, they'll be too chagrined.
The comic actor Ned Sparks, who had appeared with Bing in both Too Much Harmony and Going Hollywood, was never funnier than the kid-hating publicist.
And all the little children from the house heard the kerplunk and ran over to the well to see what had happened.
Uncle Speed, look, I got teeth. Well, back here.
You better hold on to 'em, son. And just then a big black wolf came over the hill, and seeing all the dear little children, he jumped over the fence and ate 'em all up.
Oh, don't say that in the book, Uncle Speed.
Well, it ought to. Oh, I can't stand it day after day. I'm going mad. I gotta get out of here. I'm going mad. Let me out. Let me out.
Just a minute. You're quarantined.
I'm what?
Quarantined. Doctor's orders. Nobody leaves this room for 10 days.
10 days?
That red-headed kid in there's got the chicken pox.
I can't stand it. I'll go mad. I'll bite myself.
No, Speed. Take it easy. I'll get you another storybook.
Another storybook? I'll kill myself. Let me...
The songs were a mixture of old and new, with some of Gus Edwards' compositions such as If I Was a Millionaire, Sunbonnet Sue, Jimmy Valentine, and his big hit, School Days. Johnny Burke and Jimmy Monaco contributed a few nice songs too, such as Still the Bluebird Sings, A Man and His Dream, and Go Fly a Kite. But it was An Apple for the Teacher that became the big hit.
An apple for the teacher will always do the trick when you don't know your lesson in arithmetic. An apple for the teacher will meet with great success if you forgot to memorize the Gettysburg Address.
In the film, Bing sings it with a girl called Linda Ware that Paramount was grooming to be the next Deanna Durbin. Sadly for her, she never achieved fame and only made one more film before retiring from the screen.
You think you're a peach, just bring an apple for the teacher when he starts to teach. Yeah.
The commercial recording of the song, however, by Bing and Connie Boswell, ended up becoming one of the biggest hit records of 1939. Now, things don't always go smoothly when shooting a film. Bing recalled in an interview in the 1970s that The Star Maker was the only film he made where the atmosphere on set was not that nice. The director, Roy Del Ruth, wasn't happy with the script, but he had to do it anyway, and whilst he treated Bing well, he was generally unpleasant to deal with during the production. Also, mistakes are very common when making a picture, as evident in this outtake of Bing's while pre-recording the song Jimmy Valentine prior to the filming of the scene, which would take place a few days later.
Look out, look out, look out for Jimmy Valentine, for he's a pal of mine, a sentimental crook with a touch that lingers in his sand-papered fingers. He can find the combination of your pocketbook. Look out, for when you see his lantern shine, that's the time to jump right up and shout, help, oh Jesus Christ, I blew the time, and I'm the dirty son of a bitch when Jimmy Valentine.
All right, we're going.
Things may happen, let 'em happen. Still the bluebird sings. Storms have rainbows, life has dreams, and cares, you know, have wings. And those heartaches, aren't they really unimportant things? The sun may hide behind.
Well, The Star Maker received decent reviews and it made a lot of money, beating its competition in almost every city, which is a great achievement considering the calibre of films being released around the same time. It just looked like Bing could do no wrong, and the next decade, the 1940s, would secure his place as one of the top box office film stars of the 20th century. I'm David Duncan. Join me in the next series of Bing Crosby, The Hollywood Years.
Say